What's up, y'all? It's your boy, The Amazing King, coming to you live and in color, bringing you that oh-so-amazing touch. And I want to welcome you back to another episode of the Get Ready For It podcast, Season 4. You guys, today's episode is one of I call it our classic episodes that we always do. It is called The Great Debate. But before we get into it, we're going to go ahead and introduce you to my co-host.
You already know it's Savage XL providing that X and that L. And I think most of the topics that we have on this one are kind of heated sometimes.
I don't think I did. I don't think that was done purposely or anything like that. I believe maybe you had sent me some questions and you had told me to put this on the list, and that's how they got
under the
there.
bus. Under the bus, I got you.
Before we go even further under the bus, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to our two guests today. First, both of these guests have been here before. My boy Bobby. Bobby, what's up, my guy?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me again.
Thank you so much. Are you ready to, listen, give your opinion?
I mean, I have opinions. Are y'all ready for my opinion?
There we go. That's why. Hey, that's the right answer, Bob. Appreciate that, man. Okay.
And Savage, go ahead and introduce our.
So she's not a new guest as well. She's actually, I would say, she's an OG.
She's been since season 2.
Okay, season 2. Well, that's old enough. She's definitely been around. Let me go ahead and introduce our girl Symone.
Hi, everybody.
Symone, how have you been?
I've been good. Just chilling, working.
Are you ready to get into it? Because you have done a great debate before.
Yes.
And that was with the
opinions.
All the opinions.
These topics are spicy, so I'm ready to bring the spice.
Let's get into it. So one of my favorite segments that we do here to Get Ready For a podcast is called The Shit People Say on Facebook. So I'm going to start off with the first one. Once again, people, I did not say these things. These are the exact things that were either asked, questions, or quotes that were put on Facebook. The first one is, why aren't marriages lasting like our grandparents' generation? Because people ain't stupid. Bobby?
I just feel like as a society, we have more access to really everything because of the internet, and people can be sneakier, I guess. And I don't know, I guess, maybe people feel like, well, I have options, so I don't have to stay in a relationship that I'm not working, where as maybe previous generations have been like, well, we have kids and, I don't love you anymore, but we just going to stay together for the kids. And people nowadays is just like, nah, I'm good. Let's split up.
My girl?
I feel like the women that came before us, they were tolerating a lot more. Your man at the time, like back in the day, he could have several outside families, and you're still going to stay with him because you don't have an education, you don't have a job, you don't have a means of supporting yourself and the family. So you put up with a lot more. But nowadays, you're going to have to come with the table, the chair, probably the silverware, the cup, the napkins, the entree, the side dishes. You're going to have to come with a lot more than just laying it down in the bedroom, because that's not sufficient enough anymore.
Those are facts.
That's great perspective.
I would definitely have to actually agree with all that. I do believe that, first of all, starting off with women are not putting up with the same things that they used to. A lot of women are out there actually making moves and actually working. Back in the day, there's like, okay, well, if I leave this man, what am I going to do? How am I going to survive? But now women are like, listen, I got money too, and I don't need to be with you. So I think that's one of the reasons why. Listen, people are still cheating though, but they.
I'm gonna say it has to do with social media.
Sneaky links.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Social media ain't got shit to do with it. Social media ain't the reason why people cheating.
They've always cheated, but social media, because now a lot of people, like Symone has said, he could have families here and there, and you would never find out. Exactly. Or if they did, they tolerate it. Now it's quicker ways to find out that information. Oh, he got a girlfriend.
Girls
or he married.
Meeting up.
Exactly. So I mean, it's real. It's a lot easier now. So social media kind of made it that way.
I disagree. Social media didn't make that. I think the people made the social media is just a tool.
You're right.
It's the way you use the tool.
It makes it easier though.
But you keep saying the tool is the reason.
But what about
issue.
the apps where you can cheat? Like, there's
Tinder,
apps for married people
Bumble,
that you can make a profile for
right
to cheat on your spouse.
What app is that?
That's not something.
It's a real thing.
There's several apps. There's actual apps dedicated to it. I don't know them by name because I'm faithful, but I don't need to know about that. But there are apps that are dedicated to you cheating on people.
Right.
And back in the day, that's not something that we would have had access to because technology was not as advanced as it is now.
But is it the app's fault or the user that's using the app?
But again,
I don't like to shift the blame. I like to put it on the person that's
There's
causing
more
it.
accessibility.
Yeah, exactly. They're making it easier to do so. You're saying why
That it should be on the fault of the person that's doing the
it's
action.
always been on the
100%.
fault. It's always on the fault though.
Okay.
It's always been on that person's fault. But they're making it easier. They're making it easier. Oh my God! See, this is why you shouldn't jump around.
I made my statement. I'm
Right,
going to
right,
stick
but-
with it. I just said what I said.
But
It's not
opinion.
changing
But
over here.
You're right, but it's an opinion though. I
Okay.
feel that social media is the reason why it's a lot easier to do so now than it was back in the day.
Okay. Should women be more submissive in a relationship? Savage.
So I'm going to say, by nature, I think that a woman should be submissive in the relationship, but that's only dictated on if the man leads properly. So no, I don't feel that all women should be submissive because there are some men who cannot control the relationship, can't provide in that relationship.
What? Okay. Question. Say if a man is doing that and the woman is still not submissive. How do you feel about that?
Well, when I say submissive, you want your woman to still be aggressive with assertiveness for certain things, but as far as being submissive to her man, meaning if her man was to tell her something, she's going to take that at full value unless she has a better idea. That's what I'm saying.
That wasn't my statement was. So you just said if a man is leading, so you just said if a man is leading, providing, he's doing all that. My rebuttal was, what if he's doing all that and she's not being submissive
to him?
How would you feel about that?
I think that no man would really like that unless that's the role he wants to take in that relationship.
Okay, so you said if a man is providing, he's doing what you do, the woman should take the submissive role. That's what
if
you're
he's
saying.
doing exactly what he should, submissive to that man as far as listening to him. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Listen, sometimes you got to ask a question and ask another question to get to the
Right.
answer. Bobby, do you have a response to that?
Well, disclaimer: I am a card-carrying gold star homosexual.
Okay.
So I've never been with a woman, but as far as my opinion on women being submissive to their male partners, I feel like that's, kind of antiquated thinking. It's very 1940s, 50s.
1800s.
Yeah, all of that. I mean, I feel like there should be. I feel like it's also too broad of a term, also, because you can be
That's true.
submissive in some ways and not be submissive. I don't know what I'm trying to say exactly, but short answer is no. I feel like we are in a place in society where, those types of gender roles should be kind of like retired, and two people can be in a relationship and like together, like as equals, versus like, okay, well, I'm the man, so do what I say because I make all the money, or X, Y, and Z. I think that's I don't like that.
What's your opinion?
I feel like no, because, okay, so the definition of submissive is ready to conform to the authority or will of others, meekly obedient or passive. And I feel like that's basically saying that regardless of my feelings about what you want me to do, I'm just supposed to do it regardless. I don't subject to that. In my marriage, I feel like it has to be equal. Like, you can lead as long as you're leading and you're leading me to, a good place. And this is not just you leading me to somewhere where you just want me to do whatever it is you want me to do. Because I think that is a form of like mental abuse. You're taking advantage of the fact that I love you by knowing that I will do anything to please you and to make you happy and for you to accept me. So now that you know that, okay, well, you know what? I don't feel like helping you clean up the house, or I don't feel like helping with the kids today. I want it to be all on you, especially now with a lot more women that work and also are wives and mothers. Those are jobs within themselves. So it's like, you want to add on top of that, you want me to do whatever you say. And it's like half the time, a woman could ask a man to take out the trash, and it might take you 4 times of me asking in order for you to do it. So I feel like there needs to be a little bit of give and take. It shouldn't just be, as the woman, I just do what you want me to do.
King.
Huh? Oh, you want me to go? Okay. I would say I do not believe a woman has to be submissive. I'm always a person like, what is the terms and conditions of the relationship? If a woman comes to a man and say, hey, I think I want to make this official, but I don't want to work. I just want to stay home and raise the kids. And I'm going to allow you to lead. If that's the terms and conditions of the relationship, then that's the expectations. But then it's when you try to waver from that 20 years and 30 years down the line. Like, wait, I don't want to do that anymore. That's where the conflict, I think, comes into play. Because, when you meet somebody, you kind of know their personality. Oh, this is a strong woman, or this is a strong man. They're not going to be kissing my ass.
Right.
So I go in that realm. I would have to agree with with more Symone and Bobby.
You said 20 years from now they're not allowed to change their mind. That doesn't give people any room to grow.
I think it can, in a sense, make some conflict if we started off this way and then here you come. Now I want to change the game and I'm supposed to automatically be able to accept that.
But what if how you guys were before wasn't healthy? And then now this person has a new perspective. Maybe they're in therapy. Maybe they had some type of enlightenment. And they're like, you know what? We should try doing things this way. So then what? You would just be like, nah, I'm not feeling that. We're just going to keep doing what we've been doing.
I want to say that's when I think proper communication comes into play.
Right.
But I think the person that's coming to them saying, well, I want to change this now has to have a sense of understanding why this person may not be receiving it automatically off the back is, okay, you want to be like this, I got to change it like that. Right. After we've been here 20 years. So that's where but I would say, once again, to answer the question, I don't believe that women need to automatically be submissive because a lot of women out there are doing a lot of work than men anyway.
I agree. Actually, I do agree with you. But in terms of it, to what Symone said and to what Bobby said, I think it's more of a better term for it. Like you said, leading.
Yeah.
Submissive is just a very subjugated term. Like it's very broad, like you stated. So again, not so much a submissive like, oh, do as I say. But I am picking back off of King, like more of an understanding for it, just to be able to lead properly.
Yeah, because there are some women who were raised like their parents were raised like that, and that's what they saw as an example, and that's what they expect from their relationship. So they go into it, like, well, he's the man, and I just do what he says. And if that's how a person wants to live their life, or that's how their relationship is, and it works for them, then that's them. As long as
it doesn't take away from them being strong.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, now, Bobby, I know you said you never been in a relationship with a woman, but as far as your personal relationships, do you require your partner to be submissive?
I don't require. I mean, it just depends. Again, it depends on the vibe, huh? Yeah, it depends on the context of what we're being submissive to. Like you talk about being submissive in the bedroom, you talk about being submissive on important life decisions. Like it's very different, but I've been trying not to, like I said, get caught in those gender roles, because even in gay relationships you can you see the one who's the bottom and the top. The bottom sometimes it's like, oh, you need to be the submissive one,
right,
X, Y, and Z, and sometimes it's not that. Sometimes it's the opposite. Or so I just want us to be on the same ground. Like he said, communication is very important.
Okay. Next one. Should sex be considered a gift, such as birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, etc.? How do we feel about this? If y'all say yes, I'm sorry. A praying circle needs to be healed around.
No, I think that's very old thinking. I think women used to do that. I don't think now.
They do. They do.
There are women, I have heard of that, and I don't understand.
Go happy birthday.
I'm gonna give you a blowjob for your birthday.
No,
it'd be that same whack ass blowjob you was giving me last week,
and wonder why he's cheating. It's. Yeah, I feel like if you are that type of woman, then do not be surprised when he's wandering and you go through his phone or you find something, because I'm not saying that gives him the right to cheat, but it is part of a reason. Sex is I would say 80% of the relationship.
It's a big part.
It's a huge
80?
Yes.
I would say
Bobby.
I would say
Bobby. Yes,
I would
yes,
say-
it is.
I
It
would
can
say
it can make or
80%,
break a whole relationship.
Yeah.
Well,
especially
that I
if it's
get,
bad.
but-
Like
Yeah.
or you're not getting it often, so it's bad.
Or you ain't give me what I
because
want.
you
How
guys-
many times?
She dropping gems. over
You
there.
see the person who pressed that button? That's the one that gave me this question. Probably.
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Disclaimer: I didn't choose none of these questions. I didn't
Okay.
pick none.
I said no. It's not a gift. She said no. I didn't hear from Savage or Bobby about
No,
that.
I don't think that sex would be a gift. I mean, because again, if you're doing what you need to in a relationship, you're going to be getting that anyway. So, I mean, not saying it's not going to be special. You could do different things to spice maybe that event up, but it's not a gift. It's not a gift.
This is weird. I'm confused by the question, actually. Or you mean like
basically, I
Like
only
somebody,
have
it's
sex
like
with you on
say it's like Christmas
Thanksgiving,
or like
Valentine's Day.
your birthday, and they be like, I got a surprise for you when you get home, and it's just them laying on the bed.
Like you guys don't regularly have sex.
Or
They would
Valentine's
only
Day, or I
be
got a
on
gift for
special
you.
occasions.
This here it is.
Oh, I feel like people do that. Should it be considered a gift? I don't know.
Bobby, it should not. But listen,
No.
you have your
Is it that
opinion.
good to be a gift that would you get it? No.
And I just got it the other
It should
day.
be.
I
You
feel like
should be
people say
waiting
that
like
too.
every 3 months, and like, oh no. Like,
At that point, I don't
hang
even
it
want
up.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Have a side piece because
For real.
yeah.
No.
Okay, so we're gonna drop down to Google's top 3 debatable topics. This is something I Googled, and the 3 most debatable things came up. They may be kind of weird, kind of odd, but we're gonna go over them. One of my favorite ones is drums or flats.
I used to be a big drum person, but I'm getting.
You're still
flats. I mean, I love drums, but now I kind of appreciate flats more.
I feel the disrespect.
I love-
Drums,
I like
all
drums.
I love
Yeah,
drums.
drums
What?
all day.
I feel like they're
Drum person.
easier. There's more meat on the,
The
bone.
gristle,
Yeah,
It's just
like-
what?
the fried part.
When I go to like go get chicken from like any chicken spot, I'll pay more to get just drums.
Yeah,
I mean, I like
used
them
to do
both,
that,
but I have to get drums. I like
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like flats don't get as crispy.
Yeah, they don't be
Like,
getting what I
know.
need.
Yeah.
what
It's not-
chicken do y'all be eating?
I'm more of a fried chicken type of guy. Honey barbecue.
When I
type of
get
guy.
Fried
Wingstop, I always ask
Fried
them
hard.
fry hard. Okay, I'm not playing.
Naked. Let me put
Yeah.
the dressing on. All that stuff.
I'll put they can honey
Yeah.
barbecue.
Nah.
I'm not
I
trying
put
to work
Yeah,
for
I'm
my
not
food.
finna work.
Nah.
I ain't doing all
I
that.
shoulda cooked.
Yeah, I should have cooked.
No,
Yeah.
I like my wings naked
I got an
because
air
the sauce
fryer.
makes it soggy. So I like them
Oh,
fried
yeah.
hard, and I like my sauce on the side.
Okay, so I guess it's 3 drums, 1 flat. Bobby, out the island by
Do
yourself.
you
my
eat
guy.
Buffalo Wild Wings?
That's fine.
You don't eat buffalo wild wings at all?
No, baked chicken.
Baked
The chicken, like, I had a bad experience with Buffalo Wild Wings. One time I had some chicken and it just like, when I bit into it, I couldn't feel my teeth. Like it was too thick. And I don't like that. That grosses me out. Like, is this an ostrich? Is this like, what type of bird is this?
I understand. I hate big
Yeah.
drum and stuff like that.
Unpopular opinion: Wingstop wings are not good. Like their tenders are better.
When I get wings, honestly,
wings.
I'm from Florida, so I go to Publix honestly to get a lot of my wings and
Yeah,
stuff like
Publix
that.
wings are good.
I love
From the
Yeah,
deli.
Publix wings. Yeah, I'll get their
They
naked
alright.
wings. I don't like their breaded ones anymore.
I like Hooters.
I haven't had Hooters in a while. The buffalo shrimp
What?
all day.
Oh, yes.
All day.
And the Hooter salad.
Ooh, yes.
Next question. So, we've all been on dates before, and we may have all taken people out to dates. Somebody on Twitter felt as though it's appropriate that in order for you to go out on a date, you must have $200. $1,000 for a date. What is the appropriate amount to have in your pocket when you're taking somebody on the date, and the expectation of the date is for you to pay for everything?
Fuck out of here.
In the pocket or in your bank account? 'Cause
In your
it's
pocket
completely-
for whatever bank account pockets for the actual date. What is the appropriate amount for a date? And I'm going to make it more specific. Let's say a second date.
Ooh.
A second day.
A
Okay.
second date.
Okay, a second date.
Second date.
So
For me, it's $100.
I'm going to push the envelope for a second date if you're trying to still kind of impress them. Maybe 125, 150.
Yeah.
What the hell you going?
I mean, first off, going to the movies now is like $48.
That's still nowhere.
Person.
What? But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're asking where we're going.
Okay,
we're
let me
going
shut
on
up.
a
Yeah,
date.
my bad. My bad.
Yeah.
Wait, you not going to the matinee? Wait.
Well, I mean, but see, it depends.
He going
on the
to the
date.
Brandon
I'm
Reed
thinking
shit.
about nighttime. You know,
Oh,
y'all work
yeah.
during the day, something like that. So 150, 125. Gas.
Okay.
You know, gas. Y'all gonna go to dinner, maybe movies, or maybe it's a restaurant you want to go to that might be a little upscale.
The
You wanna
snacks at the movies are expensive.
Yeah, you
We
want to
ain't buying
impress them.
snacks. We stuffing stuff in people's purses and stuff.
Yeah,
We'll go-
that part.
My husband and I, we always go to like Dollar Tree before I go to Walmart.
Exactly.
And go, yeah.
Same
and I
thing.
just
If we on the
put all
second
my
day,
purse,
you know
yeah.
who I am a little bit. Stuff that purse.
I don't know. On the
Stuff
second
that
day,
purse.
on the second day, they might
Stuff
be like
that purse.
But that's hey,
Especially if they one of these here, they know stuff that
I
purse.
think we all know you supposed to bring snacks to the movie theaters. I think
Yeah.
because I ain't buying shit inside that.
So
movie
Bobby,
theaters.
Simone, what's the amount you give
I
him?
would say, yeah, I would agree, like with Q, like 125, 150. I think that's a good amount, only because you're gonna have to pick them up, and then you gotta pay for their food, whatever you guys are gonna do. Now I will say maybe like going to Dave and Buster's, something like that. I feel like you might not spend 150. You might not. I don't know. You can't get caught up in the games. But
Yep.
you can't get caught up in the games. So I mean, I would just go somewhere where everything is like kind
All
of
in.
inclusive. Yeah.
like Topgolf.
Yeah, because it's like, you kind of know what to expect. If you're going to the movies and then, let's go out to eat, and then I got to drive you home, like, that's a lot.
Hold on, King. How long between the first and the second date? That matters.
See, that wasn't the specificness I was
But I'm
trying
asking.
to
But
get.
I'm just asking.
We're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it.
That
No,
matters.
no second date. That's all. We're gonna
That
keep it real
matters.
specific. We got time frame here. Second date. Bobby, how much?
I would say now 200 because my boyfriend's pretty bougie, so he likes fancy shit. So don't take him on a cheap date.
Well, listen, listen,
But before that, but
$100 can
honestly,
take you somewhere.
It can, but I'm saying like I would say before that, like I don't necessarily need like a bunch of. I don't need to be.
We
winded
can go
down
to
and stuff
Chili's.
Like that.
They
Like,
still do the 2 for something at Chili's,
2 for
right?
25.
Yeah.
You know, and we go to the movies.
Yeah.
Stuff the purse. We good.
Yeah.
Hell, shit.
What gas at?
Huh? But still, though, it should be gas in the tank already.
I feel like $100 is.
Or if you feel
ordering
comfortable
in.
enough, then order in and do
Yeah,
Netflix.
you
Yes.
definitely ordering.
Then if I'm ordering, I'm definitely not spending $100.
Now,
You
I'm
gonna
not
get it's gonna be
saying-
$45.
Now,
And what's in that freezer?
But be careful with that, because that can quickly turn to Netflix and chill. And then, when he doesn't call you back or whatever because he hit it and quit it, then, so
Yeah,
be
you can
careful
cook a- you
with
can cook a
that.
meal.
Yeah,
I
Cook
feel
a meal
like
for that
second
second
date at somebody's house is a little too much.
But
You
that's
kinda-
quick, right? It's
you
moving
kind
kind
of
of fast.
feel like that's,
This is what
But
this
if
is gonna be about.
you're trying to save money and it's like, hey, I want to do something a little bit more intimate so I can talk to you, because think about it. A lot of people, my thing is, you go to the movies, and I thought about this, like, why is the first date the movies? We can't talk to each other. We're watching the movie. Like, we can have, we can laugh, but we can't have actual conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one I have. This was going around on social media a lot. It was the dinner with Jay-Z or dinner with a celebrity, where people were picking either going on a dinner with Jay-Z or taking $50,000. Which one y'all doing?
I'm taking the 50K. I'm taking the 50K. I don't think that there's nothing I really want to talk to him about, even if he does have that knowledge of building a business and things like
And
that.
spending it on what? Dread extensions?
First off, my hair grows very
Wow.
Locks. We don't
So-
call them dreads. We
Oh,
call them locks.
Dreadlocks
local.
extensions?
Because
Why would I
dreads
need
is
extensions?
dreadful.
Yeah.
My
Call them
hair,
locks.
my hair is all natural. Thank you. Appreciate that.
That's kinda
America, his dreads are real. It's just an insider, you know.
You want to keep
Oh,
calling them
God.
dreads?
No, I mean,
I'm sorry. His locks
The Lock
are
Nation
real.
is gonna
Like,
come after
wow.
you.
I do apologize to my melanin people, African American history, whatever I'm talking about. Anyway, well, where was it going here? Okay, Bobby, Simone, what do you guys say?
Run me my check, honey.
Thank you.
I'm going to the
50,000.
bank.
Yeah, I would probably say the money, but then it's kind of like, well, what if there's that possibility that we talk about something? He's like, you know what? I want to invest in you.
Is that a risk that you are willing to take?
So it's like, but then what if Beyonce decides to come? So it's
And
like,
she not feeling you.
So a $50,000 risk, guaranteed $50,000 in a briefcase. It's right here in front
It's
of
not
you.
going to be taxed.
It's not going to be taxed. It's straight $50K. But you only get 30 minutes to talk to Jigga.
Okay, I'll take
See,
it.
now I didn't put no time.
Whoa, but
frame
I
on
did.
it. But this ain't.
Wait, so how long were we gonna talk to him?
It's just in
they said
general.
It was a dinner, so
It's
you're
just
not
dinner.
eating in 30
You get
minutes.
to eat your food,
Okay.
have that conversation. Because the whole time, if I take the dinner, I'm asking for money the whole time.
Time
Listen,
is
player.
money. Time is
I
money.
know.
though. Celebrities
Exactly.
not
Let me
selling
holler at you
regular
for a minute,
people.
player. You know, can I get like $100 to do a little something? You know,
You know, I'll be the nanny to the kids.
or something. You know,
Hey,
hey.
Oh my God.
I'll travel with you guys.
What? I'll be the
Wonderful.
assistant.
I'm with
personal
Bobby.
assistant
Run
to
me my
the
check.
kids.
I need all that money.
It's gonna be
Yeah,
the
I'll take
it's
the
gonna be the
money. I'll take
50K
the
for me. Okay, we're gonna move up to relationship/marriage debate now. First question: should a person get married in their early 20s? Early 20s, I believe, is 25 and under.
I think it's 24 and under.
24, yes. 25 is
Oh.
mid. 24 and under. I'm gonna go first. Okay, Wendy Williams said one thing. I mean, honestly, I don't listen to her all the time, but she did say one thing. She said your early 20s is for you to be out there doing it, and I actually would have to agree with that. I do think a lot of failed marriages are because people get married in their early 20s, and those are mistakes because you haven't lived your life. So I do believe you should be out there doing it, baby. Symone, Bobby, Savage.
I would agree. Okay. I got married when I was 26. So I mean I've been with my husband since I was 21. So we wouldn't have been ready for marriage like those first few years. So yeah, I think that there's so many people that I know that did get married too soon and then it didn't work out because it's like you think you know a person and you really don't, and you guys are still growing together. And sometimes you can't always grow with people in relationships. Like, I'm gonna be honest, and being in a marriage, that's not the time for you to try to like grow together. That's not the time. Like, nah. So getting married young, figure out what it is you want, figure out who you are before you decide to go ahead and lock it down. Because getting married young, you're going to have regrets, and then it also can stifle you from wanting to get
and cause you
married
to
in the
cheat and have
future.
infidelities.
And it may also mess up your perception of what marriage looks like or what marriage could be, and then you start breaking other people's hearts because you're traumatized.
So basically, like King said, for in your 20s, be nasty.
That's not what I
As
said.
nasty as you
I
possibly
said
can.
doing it. I didn't say the word nasty. You implied it, Savage
Be a
XL.
I mean, but
Bobby?
if you're not being nasty, then what are you doing?
Thank you, Bobby.
Yeah.
You out there living your life.
Living your best life,
You ain't
being nasty as
being-
hell.
You ain't being tied up. Okay, Bobby, go ahead with your opinion with this.
I mean, my opinion is that no, you shouldn't get married when you're in your early 20s. But people do it, so it's like, well,
Maybe out
that
there
would in
cheating.
itself would be another learning experience for them. But I thinking of myself at that age, oh my God, absolutely not.
That would have been a nightmare.
Yeah, it would have. Yeah.
It's a hard no for me.
Okay. Does the talking phase of a relationship mean that we are exclusive, meaning we don't date or entertain anybody else?
That's a gray area.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's not a gray area. That's
It's really
it's not a gray area.
For some people, I'm just saying.
I'm gonna
Some
give you my
people-
opinion
Okay.
very
Is it a gray
quickly on this
area
one.
for you?
For you,
I mean,
because for me,
for
I'm
me-
finna give my answer.
Well, no,
I'm
I'm gonna make
talking
it
to
direct.
okay.
I'm gonna be like, look, we in this exclusively. I'm gonna make it direct, so it's gonna be known.
In the talking phase, okay.
But that's what I'm saying.
Shut up.
You should know a person.
Is
at
sex
that-
involved?
In the talking phase,
No, talking is like,
So-
we had to meet cute, and now we just kind of get into know
you
each
gotta
other.
give him the
Yeah.
definition. This is go ahead. So you think in the talking phase, you have to be exclusive?
So so if you just talking about just talking, I'm getting to know you. So no, we ain't about to be exclusive. I don't give a fuck who you talk to at that point.
Nah, his first answer was the way he was feeling. This man lost his goddamn mind.
But you see how he addressed it? Okay, we just talking. Exactly, we talking.
We're
I
not-
did not
Your own
say
damn
talking
voice.
phase.
We're not smashing. We're just.
But that's what I
Right,
see.
you're in the
exactly.
talking phase.
Exactly. Okay. If
Now, talking phase can mean a lot. Talking phase can mean like, you're texting, you're calling each other, you're on the phone with
Yeah.
each other for hours and stuff like that. Maybe a little link up to go walk around, stuff like that. That is the talking phase.
But
at that
some
point,
people-
we trying to get together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the talking phase is. You old man, you supposed to know this.
Yeah, I guess I'm too
in
old.
the
I
talking
forgot
phase,
now.
some people are like having sex, and so then I would say it should be exclusive, because then if we're talking and then we, happen, to have sex one day, then I don't want you having sex with other people now at this point because
you have to let that be known though.
Exactly.
Yeah, establish.
My statement is the talking phase is not a relationship. You can be out there doing what you want to do, talking to you want to do, and how many times you want to do it.
Of people like
as long as I
got
a rebuttal.
Though, should you tell them
exactly.
like, hey, I'm having sex with other people while I'm getting to know you?
Well, not sex.
I'm finna tell you. So hell no. Hell no.
So you can have a roster.
No.
And okay,
but
I'm
people do it all the time. That's truly what it is.
But I'm asking you though. Would you tell the person?
Hell no.
But why?
Because we're not. In my opinion, dating and being in a relationship, that's where the exclusiveness come from. If we're in the talking phase, that means it's open for us to talk to other people. If we're hunching other people, and as long as I'm not bringing back a disease, why is that your business?
Okay, so if they happen to start talking to your friend and they don't tell,
but that's different. That's the code. That's the code. You're not my friend. If you're not my friend.
But what if? But you're right? Okay. So if you're not telling them that you're talking to other people, but you're gonna tell your friends.
Yeah, you're gonna tell your homeboys, hey, listen, shout, listen, not player. That's me.
I think in the talking phase, the assumption should be that that the other person is talking to somebody else. I mean, you should just go. You should just assume that that's what's happening. Now, sex, I feel like that's different. I don't, that's not necessarily. I mean, I feel like sex, it kind of moves it into something else, and it's like, but it still could be like not exclusive. Yeah. But that's when you guys need to really like sit down and be like, hey, so we just had sex. I'm not talking to anybody else. What's your move here? What are we doing?
And then if they say they are still talking to, they want to still talk to other people, then at that point you need to know.
And I feel like if they ask you, like if you are having sex with other people and a person that you're talking to, and if they ask you, maybe you don't volunteer the information, but if they ask you, then you should tell them.
But men don't like to hear women are having, even if they don't, even if it's not exclusive, they do not want to hear we are having sex with other people. They don't want to hear that. So if you do tell them, then they're going to have a problem with it. But then if they tell you and then you're just like, okay, but then you're like, oh yeah, I'm having sex with other people too, then no, they're not going to like that.
So King said, hell no.
I made my statement. I said what I said. Next question. What is the worst zodiac sign out there to date?
Cancer.
Excuse me? July the 9th, 1992. Play with your mama. Don't play with me, homeboy.
You do know that she watches and listens to.
But I'm not disrespecting her. I'm saying play with her, don't play with me. That's not no disrespect to Mrs. Savage at all. That's no disrespect to her at all.
She might pull up here right now.
Okay, how dare you disrespect cancers? Cancers are one of the best signs out there.
Cancers are very emotional,
loving,
but they
giving,
do give a lot of
sharing,
emotion at the same time.
Caring.
They are. And the only reason I said cancer because of you.
I was finna say something about it.
You know where it came from. You know where it came from a lot.
What was the can I ask somebody what was the question that I asked?
The worst zodiac sign to
date. Oh, we ain't dating.
Oh,
now he's
I'm sorry. You know how people get
the animosity though. But
okay, I'm sorry.
Guys, Bobby has him pinned up against the wall.
So I haven't really dated a lot of people, and the person that I'm dating now is a Cancer, and he's amazing. So I will have to wholeheartedly disagree with what you said. He is very emotional, but he's one of the sweetest people I've ever met. But I don't know. I can't answer that. Maybe a Leo, because I'm a Leo and I'm horrible.
Ooh, okay. Okay, so there's not a lot of signs that I've dated, but what I will say from celebrities whose signs I know that are going through relationship problems, Erica Mena is a Scorpio and Safari is a Cancer. That whole situation is a mess. I think Erica is very spiteful, but I also think that so is Safari. I think that he's very devious, not wanting to admit to the infidelities and things that he's done, and then wants to cry and say he wants his wife back. But you're still out here smashing people, sending flowers, acting single, even though you guys are going through a divorce. But yeah, no, So it's a toss up, I would say, between a Scorpio and a Cancer for me.
Mine would be, I think they are some of the most demonic spirits out there. I think that I'm not going to say your sign. I'm going to say a Capricorn. Capricorns are.
I'm a Capricorn.
Let me say this. Certain Capricorn. I said Capricorn. See, I get flustered even saying their name.
Y'all
Capricorns are some of us. Because I think here's the thing. Because so Cancers, I'm a Cancer. They are on more of the high emotional side, and then with Capricorns, they're on the very low bottom of that. So those two combinations, they butt heads very frequently.
They don't show their emotion, but I know of Capricorns.
Horrible.
Thank you, Bobby. We love you.
They don't show their emotion, but yeah, they have emotions.
Yeah, we have emotions. I think that we show them with people that we feel we can confide in and that we can trust with our emotions. Because there's I'm not going to, obviously, like if somebody says something to me, I'm not going to cry on the street. But if my man says something to me that I don't like, I'm probably going to cry if it hurts my feelings, So it's like, yeah.
I'm surrounded by Leos, Scorpios, and Geminis as far as my family goes. And I haven't really, as far as dated a whole bunch of people in my life, but most of the people I've dated have been Leos. And my girl now, she's a Leo. So, I think that's... Yeah. I don't know.
You attract Leos.
Yeah.
Did he?
But what's that your answer?
I don't know when
He doesn't want
to put anybody's sign down.
See, that's what I'm saying. I don't
on this goddamn paper.
Oh my God. So in college, I got to say like a Gemini, maybe.
Lord, hurry up.
Y'all see how you do me? I'm going to say Taurus. No, Taurus.
Actually,
Taurus. I'm going to say Taurus.
We don't need to know the reason why. Next question.
No. But I don't like Cancer because of you.
If you are married and your significant other passes away, should you remain single or date around?
Shout out to Nene Leaks.
No, man, you should get your freak on.
This was inspired by her.
You should get your freak on. I'm talking about it ain't no more. Get your freak on.
After some time.
I think your spirit is tainted. Bobby, continue.
No, I'm saying after whatever your grieving period is and you decide you want to get back on that horse, you should definitely get on that horse, honey.
Yeah. So. I don't think you should be judged for when you decide to either. Like if they die tomorrow and you want to be, in the club next week, looking for, some people just don't want to be alone.
They grieve differently.
And it's like if you went through half your life being with somebody and then they're no longer here, then it's like, I don't want to do the other half by myself. So.
I feel as though there is a certain time that you should be at bay after your significant other deceased. Okay,
America,
I'm talking about roughly 4 to 5 years.
Hold on. He is lying.
No, Stella's gonna get her groove back.
Hold on. This is my opinion.
We gonna be popular.
I feel as though you should be single by yourself, whimpering somewhere in the corner, trying to get your mind together after losing me.
Okay, but what are you talking about?
Wait, so you said this was about Nene Lee? So wait,
it was inspired by her.
Wait,
but
so you say what she's doing is not right? Because her husband passed away
my
from
statement,
cancer.
My
they
statement.
could have had an agreement.
Do I probably do? Listen, first of all, I love Nene Lee. Shout out to you if you ever hear this. Do I think she probably should have waited a little bit longer? Yes, because it literally was like he passed away. Unfortunately,
3 months, right?
I think it was even that. It wasn't even that. And then she was posting pictures with that man, and then she was dating a younger dude.
Could have had an agreement.
But let me finish my statement. I believe 2 months. And she also was, she had that little boy. She was, let him come run through,
exposing pictures.
And it was quick. He probably did tell her before he was passing that, listen, I want you to go on.
And you don't even know they probably
the house that they were living in wasn't even sold when she started to
Let me throw this
around. So
what if you didn't like your significant other?
Then you cheat around. You cheat.
Like if y'all were just
you cheat during, and then after they pass, you cheat again.
After they pass, it's not considered cheating.
Well, you wear the ring while you doing the situation. That's
Do
what I
y'all see
feel.
this? He ain't waiting 4 to 5 years for nobody.
like you
He
go
is
on a
not
date
waiting.
after the funeral.
Exactly. I mean, I'm actually bringing the date to the
You know what I'm
funeral.
saying? That's what I'm talking about.
He's actually the pastor over the whole
Oh my
situation.
They will jump
congregation,
out the casket on you
with my date sitting next to me.
and drag your ass to hell.
I guess that's what it is. Me and my date gonna be going. Okay, next one. Okay, so say if you're married, right? You guys have, your sexual activity and stuff like that. Is watching X-rated flicks considered to be cheating while in a relationship?
No.
This was inspired by a relationship I was in, and they felt as though watching porn was cheating because they felt as though, well, I'm here, so why do you need that? Okay, go ahead.
No,
I just had to give my expression on that question.
I personally do not think so. I actually had a similar experience. I was not dating someone, but involved and exclusive with a person who, felt that was cheating and shamed me about it. And I did actually stop watching porn for it was like almost a year.
Oh, you're a strong individual, Lord.
It was very difficult because that is a way that I, kind of like explore my sexuality. So I enjoy porn a lot, but I don't think it's cheating, but I think it depends on who you're in a relationship with, because some people do. Yeah.
Simone?
I will say this. I had my views on it before. Like, yeah, I felt like it's not necessary. I felt like it's not necessarily cheating, but it's not something that I wanted, like, my man to be looking at, because I don't want there to come a time where that's what you're thinking about when you're with me.
Like Kurt Franklin? He did have a sex porn.
Yeah, he did have, yes. So I just don't want that to overshadow what we're doing. However, I feel like if you have a conversation with your spouse and you say, hey, or if you're just in a relationship, hey, this is what I want to do, or I look at this. Because some people look at porn for research purposes. They're looking at it to learn how to get better at things. So it's like...
You're doing a lot of research
Porn
right
is
there.
not a great teacher. Actually.
It gives
that's
you
how sex supposed to be.
unrealistic expectations. Yeah. However, there are videos where girls try to figure out, like, how can I give, like, the best fellatio? So, yeah, I don't think that's considered cheating, but it just depends on what you guys have agreed to in your relationship.
Hell no, it's not cheating. It is not. It's not cheating. I'm sorry. It's free content, and y'all can get in. I think there should be a conversation. If it's something that you're really into, you really want to watch porn, then you and your significant other, y'all sit down, have a conversation. Listen, this is what I want to do. Maybe we should like it together. What's something that you want to watch?
I don't know that I would want to watch that with my partner, though. That's kind of,
I think that's
kind
typically like a solo.
Yeah,
thing.
that's kind of.
Yeah, I'm not watching with nobody.
But see, that you're trying to compromise so that way they don't feel like it's cheating. If that was something they could do. I'm not saying it's not cheating.
Right.
Shit, I'm gonna watch it regardless.
But if I watch it with my man and then he gets an erection from looking at something that we're looking at, I might feel away. I'm not gonna lie. I might, yeah.
But let me ask you this though: do you feel like maybe it's a way for them, because some people watch it as a way to like satisfy a sexual fantasy that they have, that if they're in a relationship, it's like, okay, well, I want to be monogamous, I want to be faithful, and I'm still curious sexually about this thing, so maybe I'll like just watch it or kind of like experience it through porn versus like actually going out and seeking it out.
Yeah, again, if it's a conversation, like if we have a conversation, you explain it to me, okay. Like, it's nothing I can do about it. Like, you're going to have the fantasy regardless of if I say watch it or don't watch it. So I would much rather be like, okay, give you the go ahead than you do it and then like I'm on your laptop or something and I just see like all of this and I'm like, well, what's going on?
Because you're going to find a lot on my phone. We're going to go up to the debatable LGBTQ topics. First one. When I wrote this question, I was like, please, I'm trying to word this right. Should trans people be able to participate in sports? And what I mean by that, should a man who has transitioned to a woman be able to play in cis women's sports? It got really
Bobby,
quiet.
you want to take this one?
You want to? Oh, I guess we're gonna start off with Bobby. Okay, this.
Oh my
So this is
God.
where I said, huh? This is where I said, huh?
Crickets.
Okay, so this topic has been. I've honestly not. I'm gonna say I fully stand with our trans brothers, sisters, non-binary people who have it so hard and they experience so much hate and discord from this world, straight people and gay people alike. I would say that I have felt very conflicted about this topic. The only thing, though, that I can point to kind of like, because I want to say yes, but you also can't deny like certain biological differences and things like that. But there is an episode of this show called The Good Fight, which is a spinoff of The Good Wife, which both are excellent shows anyways, but it's on Paramount Plus. But they had, it's a law drama, and they had this show where they were trying, there was a transgender athlete who was transitioned from a man to a female, and they were trying to figure out if it was fair for them to stay on the team or something like that. Anyways, the point that I took away from it was there are tests as far as like people who were born male and transition to female testing their testosterone levels. And if it's under a certain threshold, then I feel like they said that it's technically like acceptable for them to participate in these sports with like cisgendered women or, born female athletes. So I think that's kind of like the what am I trying to say? I feel like that's what we should use that as an example as far as like determining, as long as your testosterone levels are X, Y, and Z. And again, I'm not like a geneticist or a science person at all, but yeah. So that's kind of my opinion.
Symone, what's your opinion on it?
I think that I don't want to tell anybody you can't play a sport or can play a sport. However, I would agree with what Bobby's saying about the testosterone levels, because I do feel that it also does depend on when they also transitioned. If this is something that they transitioned at 5 from a little boy to a little, now they are a woman, then I would say, okay, like this was something that was early on. I think that I don't want to say that, like if I'm 19 and now I'm in college and last year I was male and now this year I want to be female, that I shouldn't be allowed to. But I do think that in a way it's kind of unfair too, because you have an advantage that some people just naturally have like an athletic ability. And if you still have a lot of that testosterone in you, then I feel like your athletic ability is probably going to be well above what a woman's possibly could be. And that may not be fair in the sense of who the opposing team is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's a touchy subject.
Yeah, before we go into the next question, my standpoint is it's very simple. As long as it's fair, I'm good with it. As long as it's a situation where the cis women and also the trans women are competing equally and nobody necessarily has up on the other side. Like, when you take advantage. When you take steroids, I don't feel as though that's fair because you automatically have an enhancement or something like that. So as long as it's fair, hey, live your best life. Next question. What age do you believe is it appropriate for a child to decide to transition? So we all know Dwayne Wayne has a son, and he allowed his daughter. Oh, that's my bad. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Has a daughter that has transitioned at a very young age. What age bracket do you guys feel as though it's? I don't want to say use the word acceptable, or what do you feel is the appropriate age for that to allow that? Tough question.
I don't have kids, but I would imagine that it's a very difficult thing to deal with, especially, because not that being trans is new, but it's kind of something that we're getting our eyeballs on a lot more now than we have been. But I would say that, if your child is, pretty adamant about their transness, then you should, accept them, but just tell them that, we're not doing any kind of like physical changes until you're older, but we will respect your pronouns. We will, address you as such and support you and do those things. I don't know, like, because just like I would say, like being gay and realizing that you are attracted to the same sex, it happens at different times for different people, but it's just something that So when a trans person is like, okay, I don't identify with, being this gender that I was assigned. So, at whatever age that happens, you just have to, I guess, support and love your child, which we know that's not always the reality. But
Symone?
I'm gonna say I feel like, okay, so I feel like when they are old enough to know that this doesn't feel right to me, it's kind of hard because I know that they say like as early as like 3 or 4, your child can know. But at the same time, it's like, I don't feel my kid has had enough life experience to know, because it's like, do you really know if your kid is trans or if they just are effeminate, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just different things that play a factor into that. So I don't necessarily, I feel like as soon as they can tell you, maybe once they're older, like I would say maybe once they're like 12, 13, possibly, maybe, oh no, let's just go with high school. Let's go with high school, because I feel like you still go through growing pains through elementary and middle school, and you're still trying to find yourself. You're still trying to find yourself in high school, but I feel like in high school, you kind of, like, you're becoming a young adult. So it's like, okay, I've been in elementary school, and I've been in middle school, and I've been a male, and I still don't feel like this is right, and I just want to go into my adulthood as a woman, and I feel like this is truly what I want to do. I know I'm not gay. I know that I actually feel like I'm a woman. So I feel like high school.
I'm probably going to say that I probably would take the same route that Dwayne Ways has done with his daughter. What I can see is that he's allowing her to live in her truth, but there's been no like adjustment to her.
Yeah, no like surgery.
Yeah, no surgery and things like that. So I think that's probably the most appropriate way that I would handle the situation. Of course, as parents, you probably be like, "Are you sure?" Because you always want to make sure your child's making the right. That's correct, the right decision and stuff like that. So as long as that's taking place, I will allow it. I can't even allow. It's not anything you can allow, but I would be more receptive of it. I probably would handle the same way that the way Wade handled his daughter. Next question. Should a person who has had sex with the same sex in the past be required to tell the person they're in a heterosexual relationship with now that they participated in homosexuality activities in the past? Once again, meaning I'm a man who had sex with men in the past in my early 20s, but now let's say I'm 35 years old and I no longer have those sexual activities. Now it's just more of a heterosexual activities.
Yes, you should always tell. I feel like and this is not just about like if a man has been having sex with men, I feel it goes the same way with women. Simply because if there comes a time like when we're out or something and you happen to bump into somebody and then I'm like, oh, well, who was that? And then, you're just kind of like, oh, well, that's somebody that I, like, how do you explain that?
Like you're saying that you don't want to be caught off guard. You want to be able to be aware. So if it comes to you, you don't have like egg on your face. Okay.
If this is the person that I want to be with, because you made that decision for me if you don't tell me. I need to be able to make that decision for myself and say, hey, okay, I like this person enough to want to continue on in a relationship with them, or this is just not for me because that's just not something that I don't know that you're not going to go back to, doing those things. Because some people, like, you could just be bi, and that's cool, but it's not cool for me.
Savage, quick. What do you think, Savage?
Yeah, same thing like Symone has said. You don't want to be caught off guard. Like, you want to be out somewhere and somebody comes up to you. But I think that goes both ways, with men and females.
So, Poppy, what about you?
I don't feel like it's a thing. I feel like it's something that should be discussed. But I don't feel like it should be a thing that you have to say like, oh, hey, you need to tell me this, because I feel like that's still something that's really stigmatized. And I feel like if a girl told her, if a woman told her boyfriend like, hey, I used to kiss my girlfriends in college, or I've had sex with women before, and it would just be like, oh, okay. But I feel like,
yeah, because it's a double standard.
Yeah, it's a double standard. Yeah. But if a guy went to his girlfriend and was like, oh, hey, back in college I played around, every now and again I would have sex with dudes, and I feel like it would just be like the end of the world. I mean, just like, not to call you up, but just like how you said, like, if your boyfriend or significant other was bi, you were just like, that's not something that you're interested in. I just don't see and I guess it's just my perspective, but I just don't see what the difference is versus like you being with somebody who was very promiscuous, mm-hmm. or somebody who has had has had not a lot of sexual experience, but it's like it only matters if the activity was like with the same sex. But if it's with the opposite sex, it doesn't really matter. So I don't know. I feel like it's something that should be worked into the conversation, but I don't like the idea of it like, oh, you need to disclose this. Like, now it's different if you're talking about like if you have herpes or something like that, then yeah, you need to tell your significant other that, because that's something that can directly affect them. But I don't see. I don't know. I just don't see it. Like if I'm dating a guy and he said, oh, like my boyfriend now, he's bisexual, but like I'm not holding it against him for having eaten pussy in the past. So like I'm not.
My statement is this: what's done in the past is the past. It ain't none of your damn business. So my standpoint, I ain't saying a damn thing. And if it happens, then I'm gonna face it when it happens, my guy.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Listen, listen. If like I said, if it's in my early 20s, and now I'm 35 and I'm living my best life, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna keep it to myself. And if they find out, guess what's gonna happen? I'm gonna deal with it when it get there, and then from there you make your decision on what you want to do. But know that you was taking this good thing. But next one, the next one I'm gonna say is, should a person that is HIV undetectable, real quick, HIV undetectable means that you still have HIV, but you're on your medications and your discharge is not transmittable. So should that person that is undetectable still be required to tell people that they are dating that they have HIV and they're HIV positive?
Yes.
Dating?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are y'all having sex?
See, that's why I said dating. No, let's put it in no sex.
No, but when you're dating people,
dating,
if you're
fuck.
dating, yeah.
Okay, wait,
yeah, you guys are having sex.
Yeah,
if you're dating somebody,
I'm gonna take a.
This isn't talking.
I'm gonna take somebody from. So, I was talking to somebody, and they didn't tell me that they were HIV undetectable until we started talking about having intercourse with each other. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't mad.
Oh,
I wasn't mad.
But
I feel
that's
that's what I'm saying. In the dating phase, that wasn't the dating phase. That was okay. We're finna have sex phase. So the dating phase,
no.
if I'm talking like, hey, my name is such and such, how you doing? Let's go out on a date. Let's go to the movies. Okay,
I mean,
that phase, you feel as though they need to tell you that they are undetectable HIV at that phase, at that point.
Ooh.
I mean, it's still such a huge stigma
should
about
still
it.
Tell me
I
something.
think that's
huh?
personal though. I feel like okay, if you get to the point to where like, hey, I'm really starting to feel this person, but I feel like I should let them know, then boom, that's on you. But if all y'all doing is just talking and y'all kicking, y'all not really even talking about sex, nothing like that.
Because there's a lot of trans women that won't tell the person that they're trans until they're actually at a certain point, which some people don't think is right. Some people think is fine.
So, but you feel the vibe though, because if you feel like you really starting to know this person, and that person really starting to genuinely like you, you're like, okay, I don't want to mess.
Like I'm not finna be at the dinner date, be like, oh, by the way, I'm HIV undetectable. I just want to let you know that.
That's bad decorum. You ain't finna drop it. Yeah, you ain't finna drop it at the date.
This was a great chicken and stuff like that. I don't know. I feel as though once it starts moving, in just my opinion, maybe once it start moving into more of a sexual conversation, that means that things are going to take place. That's where it's appropriate. Like, okay, just to let you know, I am HIV undetectable. This is what this means. Let me know how you feel about it. If you don't, because the reason why you guys want the person to be because you don't want the feelings to get involved.
I don't want to waste your time.
But see, exactly. I
don't want to waste your time.
That's a tough one. That is a real tough one.
And that's fine.
No, but okay, did I miss something? Or what was the question again?
I said,
Yeah,
should a
'cause you
person?
see
I
what
said,
I'm
should a person that is HIV undetectable be required to tell people that they are in a dating phase that they have HIV, and they're HIV positive?
So
That was the question.
I feel like once you get to the dating phase, like you are in a position where you would probably have sex, and I feel like before having sex, like you gave in your example, that they should tell you. Now, no, because HIV, there's so much stigma and misinformation about it. Like a lot of people don't even know what HIV being undetectable is. But before y'all get it in, then it should be something said.
Yeah. Okay, this is the last question of this segment before we move on. Should the gay community respect the fact that a cis person, being male or female, does not want to be referred to as a cis woman or cis man? They just want to be called woman or man. And the way this conversation came up, because I was at a location, this lovely woman who I know, she said, "Why do I have to be a cis woman? Why can't I just be a woman?"
Okay,
and that kind of made me think, because there's a lot of women out there that are like, okay, I'm a cis what? Why can't I just be a woman?
I've never heard anyone complaining about that, and I was about to say, where did you get this question?
Yeah, that's what I'm explaining for. It was that we were having a conversation. It was I think
she
a TV show.
I think she doesn't even know what it means. You should have explained to her what cis means.
Could you please explain?
It means
Educate us.
A cis woman is a woman that is biologically, naturally a female.
No, being
Does
cis.
not?
No, being
Go ahead,
cis
correct
means
me.
you identify as the gender that you were assigned at birth.
But if I'm a woman, why do I have to be identified as a cis woman? Why can't you just call me a woman?
It's just that now we have terms.
But I don't want to do the same thing. I just want to be a cis woman.
No,
I want to be a woman. I'm sorry.
You are.
Okay.
It's the same thing. It's like semantics at that point.
Mhm.
But the difference is like if you're having a conversation about trans people, then okay, well, cis and trans are not the same thing. So you need to make the distinction. So, okay, a cis woman is a woman who identifies with her gender that she was assigned at birth. A trans woman is a person who was born another gender and transitioned to be a woman.
So my question
isn't that still a woman?
Because the question was, should the gay community respect the fact that I'm a woman and I don't want you to refer to me as anything cis? I want you to call me a woman. Because in the gay community,
but that's nothing about
in the
being gay.
in the gay community, you want to be you want to be referred to as our correct pronouns. So it's basically a conversation about being respectful in pronouns, right? You want to be, if you are a trans woman, you want to be called woman, she, her. I am a biological woman. I don't want to be referred to as cis.
Okay, so hold on.
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
what would you call me? Because I'm still.
I would call you a man.
Okay, so what would you call Symone?
Simone is a woman. But say like he just used an example.
Right.
If we're in a, like I said, we're talking about trans women. The conversations deal with trans women and maybe cis women. And I keep referring to you as, well, you know, this is the trans woman here, and Simone is the cis woman here.
So we're just going off of vernacular. Like it's just
no. You're going based off of pronouns and. There's a lot of nowadays. There's a lot of pronouns with
the verbiage. Cis is not a pronoun.
It's the verbiage that you're using because she's still a woman.
Okay, keep going.
And I'm a man, so now you're saying we have to go by cis woman and cis man.
Cis is just like an identifier for like, okay, you were born and identified as a man,
correct,
and you affirm that assignment, like you.
Correct.
Okay.
Like,
so if we were sitting
I was born a man
in a like right now we're living right now, we were having a conversation.
What makes you cisgendered, and
correct.
Trans is somebody who was
transition
born something else,
right,
and they transition to be a man to align themselves with their.
So that's how that came about.
So my question is, if it's 4 men sitting at the table, right, and we're having a conversation, the conversation is titled "Trans Men and Cis Men," and you say, "Why can't I just be called a man? Why do I have to be called a cis?"
Nobody says that.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. If
the first time I heard of this was on the Breakfast Club.
If you're watching TV and they're describing women, they do refer to them. Oh, that's a cis woman. They do that.
I think that's just. I think that just comes from just being not knowing, like people not being informed of things, like, just like how it was in the 80s when people thought that you could catch AIDS by kissing someone or eating behind them or breathing the same air as them. So it's just people not knowing. I don't want to say ignorant, but that's a part
it's
of
ignorance. and ignorance doesn't. It's just a lack of not knowing, a lack of knowledge.
So if somebody was to say that, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'd be like, what does that mean? And if they were to explain it to me like Bobby did, then I'd be like, oh, okay. Well,
so that's how the conversation.
CIS gender cisgendered is the full term, but people shorten it to cis, like
because that's how the conversation we were.
It's not like, hey sis. It's like,
see, that's what I'm saying.
We were doing something, and we were watching a TV show, right? And on the TV show, they were referring to the woman as a cis woman, and she was like, "Why can't I just be called a woman? Why do I have to now be called cis?" Because there's so many now. Many new pronouns that you have to use, like what is it called, non-binary and binary and all that stuff like that. She was like, well, why can't I just be called a woman? Why do I have to be a cis woman now? That's where this question comes from. I was like,
cisgendered, male, cisgendered, female, those aren't pronouns.
But they are used though.
It's just for conversation's sake, to differentiate
identifiers.
Identifiers.
But
we're having a conversation with a trans male,
so
and
is that not enough?
Cisgendered male. That's just their identifier, so that
So you don't believe that's enough? So if I say this is a woman, this is a trans woman, that's not enough?
That's just like saying this is a man and this is a man, but one of us is actually a trans man.
because
but if I say trans people, men and men,
trans people for whatever gender that they align with are that gender, but you for technical,
you put trans in front of it.
For technical,
it's a good one, isn't it? I know
points, and for like I guess maybe scientific purposes, there needs to be like the exact distinction. So trans men are men, trans women are women. That's how they identify. Right. They don't necessarily identify. Hey, I'm a trans man. Hey, I'm a trans. Like I'm a man. The
reason why I say this because when I was sitting with this lovely lady, I was the one on the opposite side trying to explain to her what it means and why it's used, and she was being me, being like, "But why this? Why this? Why this?" So I just really thought it was a very important question to ask to see what the response was going to be. Because every time I said something, she was just like, "Well, why can't they be trans? And why can't I just be woman? Is that not enough identifier?"
Well, I think because they look at it as offense when you say it like that, because that's
To the heterosexual people?
No,
Or
to the trans people, they probably take offense to it now. They're a woman.
But herself, she was a woman as well, and she said she took
She was
offense
a
about it as well.
biological woman?
Yeah, she was
Right,
like,
and-
"Well, I take offense to that. I just want to be a woman." So that's what I'm saying. It's a
But
it's
no
a,
one's going around
nobody's
calling
saying-
heterosexual, like biological women. No one's going around
wouldn't
calling
bother
them,
me.
you're
Yeah.
a cisgendered woman. No one's saying that. Like, no one.
Yeah, I don't care.
I mean,
either.
That doesn't,
It
come, it
comes
doesn't
up-
come up like, oh, on the street. Oh, hi, cisgendered
Yeah,
woman.
not like
it's
that.
not.
But it comes up in discussions like
Right.
this,
Right,
or like when
exactly.
some trans person has been disrespected or misgendered or something like that, and
Yeah.
So
That was a good one. I don't care what y'all talking about. That was a really good one because it was a long conversation. Goddamn, I was like, okay,
I would
lady.
be like, girl, I can't help you.
Okay. Okay, I'm just going to answer a couple more questions before we wrap it up. Should current Caucasian people be held at fault for the things that were caused by their ancestors to black people? Like, for example, let me see if I see Billy and Tom. Should I hold them at fault for the things that their ancestors did to black people?
No, but I think there should be knowledge. They should have some type of knowledge about it, though. Approach situations knowing about it.
Symone?
I don't feel like you should blame. I mean, all white people aren't bad. So I'm not going to blame you for something that your great 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 grandfather and his people did, because that's not getting us anywhere if we're trying to move forward and be in harmony with one another. Me blaming you for slavery and for lynchings and for rapings and all of these things, like, that's not progressive at all.
Bobby? Go
I
ahead.
don't think that they should be blamed for those actions directly, but I also feel like white people need to realize that in America they have a certain amount of privilege, and that ignoring things about like race and saying, well, that happened forever ago and you need to let it go, but we as black people are still experiencing the repercussions of a lot of things that has happened, like, black people not having generational wealth, black people still being systematically discriminated against throughout all facets of this country. And it's like, oh, I'm not blaming you, but you do hold a certain amount of privilege, and you can go out in the street and do things that me as a black person can't do. Like that Kyle, that murderer who killed those people, like, he got off, and and I hate when white people get like upset about things that are inherently racist, and they're just like, well, it's always been that way, or this isn't bothering you, or it's just like the Confederate flag, it's just a flag, or no, but it means something, and it's a symbol of hatred and bigotry.
Yeah, I would have to agree with actually Savage. I don't think that I should blame the current generation of Caucasian people for the things that their ancestors did, but I do 100% believe they should be knowledgeable because of the word change. Once you stop talking about something, that's when change completely stops. So my people out there that are of the Caucasian complexion, black history is going to always be here. Black people are going to always be here. We're going to always keep it in schools, and we're not going anywhere. And you're going to know about them beatings and the slaves and the ships and all that stuff. So you can teach your children and their children that racism is wrong. In the words of City Girls, period. This is your boy, the Amazing King, coming to you live and in color, bringing you that oh so amazing touch. Thank you guys so much for joining us for another episode of the Get Ready For It podcast. Hey, make sure you guys follow me at AmazingIM_. Make sure you follow the podcast page at readyfor_1. Savage XL, can you please send them out, please?
Absolutely. Y'all know y'all can find me on IG, my personal page, Keys_Savage XL. You can follow my my fitness page, EM_fitness training, and the clothing line page, which is elevated_mentality_. And to Bobby,
my Instagram is some Bobby12, but it's private, so
and Symone.
And you guys can follow me on Instagram at Symone Styles with 2 Z's.
All right, y'all already know. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Peace.